Yeah, another minute here, so let's just wait for everyone to get in. Thank you, Mason. If you guys want, you can go into Google Classroom and do your warm-up, but okay, I'm going to start it right now. So here we go. Go into Google Classroom and start your warm-up. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, start. 2 minutes on the clock for your warm-up for today.
You're not sharing anything.
Yeah, I know. I was going to have you guys go into Google Classroom so I could keep an eye on who comes in.
So we're waiting a little bit longer before we start the warm-up?
No, I would go ahead and do it on Google Classroom. It's in there.
Oh, okay.
The reason I didn't display it is because I can't see anything when I do that. So I can't see like if someone comes in and you can just open it up and do it that way. If you don't mind, you have 46 seconds left to get your warm-up done on Google Classroom under week 8. So this is week 8, next week's week 9. For those that just came in, we're going on Google Classroom and we're doing the warm-up and there is 7 seconds left. Okay, time's up. So I'll tell you what's happening this week. So today we're going to finish up our wellness notes. There'll be a small little assignment that goes with it that's due tonight. Depending on how quickly I can get through it, will determine how much time in class you'll have to work on it. So mainly it's been like, I don't know, 7 to 5 minutes at the end of the hour. It's 15 questions. I'd say 85% of them, you know the answer to them already because we go over it all the time. So it should be pretty simple. So we're going to do that today. Tomorrow, I want to start in on our case study, which is we're going to look at this kid who has some habits, and we're going to figure out whether he's at risk for disease or not. And then we'll do that on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then Thursday, I'm going to make Apple brand muffins. And so you guys will have a demo to watch and fill out the demo page on Thursday. And then work on your cookbooks because they're due Monday. So I will be adding in smoothie and then Apple brand muffins. So those will be the last 2 that will be on there. And then basically remember you need a title page, a table of contents, and all the recipes that have been transferred from the demo page onto the cookbook. So any questions about what's up and coming and the expectation for next week, Monday? Okay, so we'll try to squeeze out an assessment before our last week. We'll see. I don't know if I can work that fast, but I'm going to try. So Nobody's got any questions for me? Oh, there's Rachel. Okay. Must be your internet's coming in and out or something. All right. So I'm going to present the screen. Remember that the chat is only for questions or concerns that you have. They're not an ongoing conversation you have with one another. And that is also something that's being recorded. So just keep that in mind. Keep it on school appropriate info. So I'm going to go ahead and present my screen to you. We're doing the second part of the wellness notes, and I'm going to recap a little bit just so that okay. So in the chat, I'm going to ask you some questions, okay? And you put in the chat what the answer is. Okay, okie dokie. All right, let me skip back. So, what is, this is what I want. Is the state of being in good health or the quality of life? What is that? Is the state of being in good health or the quality of life? Wellness, yes. Next question. The state of wellness characterized by top physical, mental, and social well-being. What is that? Nope. Optimal, yes. Kristen, good job. Death that occurs due to a lifestyle behavior that led to a fatal accident or an avoidable disease. What word is that? Premature death, yep. I'm going to talk about the 3 aspects of wellness, and you tell me which one I'm talking about. Let's just start with that one. You can abbreviate this if you want, make life easier. What are the 3 major components of wellness? The 3 major components, what are they? Mental, social, physical, yes. So if I said, this describes the way you get along with other people, what aspect of wellness would I be speaking of?
Social.
Yes, correct. And then the way that you feel about yourself, your life, and the world around you, what aspect of wellness would I be talking about? Mental, yep. And the fitness of the body, what aspect of wellness? If I said that this is a physician that looks at the whole patient, looks at their physical, mental, and social well-being, what type of wellness approach is that? That a doctor would approach a patient? Holistic, yes. Okay, so holistic is looking at the whole patient. Okay, I'm asking this question only because I'm seeing if we did it. So it's a behavior that influences a person's chance of being injured or getting a disease. You know that one? Behavior that influences a person's chance of being injured or getting a disease. No. If I said it this way, so if I told you heart disease and I said smoking, drinking, I don't know who that is. So all of those things that I just listed are called what? Noah? I don't think that pertains. I don't know who this is. Hold on. I don't know. Anyway, all right. So obviously we need to go over this. So if you go into your Google Notes, so go up to nutrition, and then you want to go into where it says GN Wellness, and that's where we're going to start today. Okay, so open those notes up. And then I am going to continue on with the Google Slides. Does anybody need more direction than that? You're all set? You guys have all your notes open?
Wait, what part of this page are we at?
So we are on where it starts talking about the factors that affect wellness
Okay.
or that contribute to disease. Are you there?
I'm there now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Give me 1 second here. I gotta. Hold on, I'm trying to. Just 1 second. It is weird. Okay. Anyway. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna move on in the slideshow here. Okay, so this is where I believe is where we left off. So what I was trying to get you to say is risk factors, because if I said heart disease and I said, you know, like smoking, drinking, high fat diet, not exercising, those are all things that put somebody at risk for heart disease. Okay. So the proper definition of a risk factor is a characteristic or behavior that influences a person's chance of being injured or getting a disease. Influence a person's chances would be like the key to me. You know, if I was going to write something down, I would say something like it's behaviors that influence a person's chance of getting a disease or getting injured. Okay. All right. So remember we talked about the leading causes of death, and we talked about the pie chart of things that, you know, cause death and disability, and some things we have some control over, some of them we have complete control over. So when we look at like unhealthy lifestyle choices, that's controlled, poor environmental quality controlled, inadequate healthcare controlled, heredity is uncontrolled. Okay. And we're going to break that down. So under each, like if you look at your notes, there's like a little bubble right underneath each one of these headers. And I am going to add some things in. And so as I'm talking about them, you need to jot down the information. If you need me to recap or repeat, just either unmic like Dylan has, or you can give me a hand blurb, or I'll have Abby. Can you monitor the chat if somebody has a question or wants me to recap something and they don't want to speak outwardly? Could you just let me know?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to unhealthy lifestyle choices. And you would need to listen and then jot some information down as I talk about it. Okay. So unhealthy lifestyle choices are controlled. It can lead to heart disease, cancer, and stroke, which would be what I would put next to that little bullet, is heart disease, cancer, and stroke. The half of lifestyle factors are going to contribute to disease. Half of lifestyle factors contribute to disease. And then the top, a couple of the top ones would be heart disease, cancer, and stroke. And half of those lifestyle factors lead to disease or contribute to disease. Okay, I'm going to go on unless I hear somebody wanting me to repeat or to go back.
Could you repeat it?
Yeah. So, unhealthy lifestyle choices lead to heart disease, cancer, and stroke. And they contribute to half of the lifestyle factors contribute to disease. Can I get a hand blurb if you're ready for the poor environment?
I'm ready.
Okay, thank you. So a fifth are related to the state of the physical world around you. A fifth related to the state of the physical world around you. A fifth related to the state of the physical world around you. So controlled to the fact that, we kind of have a choice of what environment we live in and the quality of that environment, like the house that we live in, to keep it, the environment clean, sanitary, and, the community that we live in, different places like that. Trying to keep it clean, good quality. Inadequate health care. Are you guys ready for that one?
Can you repeat the poor environment
Yes.
or environmental?
Yep. It's a fifth relates to the state of the physical world around you. Relates to the state of the physical world around you. You ready for inadequate health care?
I'm good.
Okay. So 10% has to do with medicine because it's not an exact science. Doctors, and there's a bunch of these, so, I'll repeat them once. Doctors cannot always assess symptoms and test results to easily reach a correct diagnosis. So basically, it's not an exact science. Doctors make mistakes. They don't always reach the right conclusion. As a patient, sometimes we lack the ability or the want or desire to go in and get tested because we lack that ability. It can affect early diagnosis. Sometimes we can't afford a facility that's in California and we live in Michigan. So we don't have access to that facility because we just can't get there. And so that could be also modern medicine that's not available to us. Poor management, maybe, the hospital mismanages us. So like they lose our appointment or they lose some information and then we have to go back for more testing. They might give us the improper treatment, sometimes happens. Patients don't always seek out their regular checkups like they should. Once a year, you should have a checkup. They don't seek treatment soon enough, so they let it go on too long before they actually do something about it. Sometimes they don't have health insurance, which can cause a problem. They fear the bill, the doctor. They have lots of fears about the health care. They don't follow the doctor's advice. The doctor tells you this is how this is going to help, or this is what you should do to alleviate these symptoms, and the person doesn't do it. And they don't share important information, like as far as like the patient doesn't share all the information that's necessary to make a proper diagnosis or to help the patient the best they can because they just aren't aware of all that's going on. So in a nutshell, medicine is not an exact science, and doctors don't always assess symptoms and test results to easily reach a correct diagnosis. And it can stem from lack of early detection, lack of facility, improper treatment. Patients don't get regular checkups. They don't seek treatment soon enough. They lack health insurance. They don't follow the doctor's advice, and they don't share all the important information that's necessary to the doctor. And so one term you're going to have to know is diagnosis, which is the identification of a disease. So if I went to the doctor and I got diagnosed for cancer, let's just say, and the doctors, that would be the diagnosis. But further diagnosis would be what type I'm in or what phase. Am I in 1, 2, 3, 4? 1 typically means that it's in one area, it's contained, it hasn't moved. So they can just go in and make an incision and hopefully get it all. Type 2 is where it might have moved to surrounding tissues. 3 would be in one organ and surrounding tissue, and then 4 would be in multiple organs and in multiple tissues. So 4 would be probably the worst diagnosis, but if you know anything about Livestrong, I don't know if anyone knows anything about this, but there's this guy who did the Tour de France, and he was Lance Armstrong. Does this ring a bell to anybody? I don't know. Anyway, he had brain cancer and testicular cancer, and he was stage 4. And he came back from that to be very fit and win lots of accolades for the Tour de France. Of course, he did get stripped from some of those medals and things, but you can't push aside that he came back from a stage 4 diagnosis and triumphed over it and became very physically fit and was able to be considered cured. So, that in itself is a miraculous situation, even though he got stripped with his medals, but that was still phenomenal. Okay, so I just need to know from you if we're good to go to the next slide, or you need me to recap something. So, I forgot heredity, didn't I? Whoopsie, my bad. Okay, so heredity, 25% beyond your control. Genes that you receive from your parents determine your body structure and the other physical traits. So here's an example. If someone in your family has had cancer, you are at an increased risk of developing cancer too. These things cannot be changed, but you can be aware of your risk factors and react accordingly. Okay, so like if diabetes is in your family, let's say type 2, and you know that your family has a sensitivity to it, best thing you could do is keep your weight under control, exercise, eat healthy. Those are, 3 critical things that you could do to not become a statistic because you have this sensitivity in your family. Now, does it fully make it so you will never get diabetes? No. But you're doing everything within your realm of control to prevent yourself from getting diabetes. Okay, I have cancer in my family. Does it mean I'm not ever going to get cancer if I do all the things that help prevent it? No. Okay, but I'm going to do the things within my power that I have control over that I can try to lessen my risk. Okay, and so that's, even though you can't really do a whole lot about heredity, you can try to combat it the best way you can. Okay. All right. So again, like Abby, you're a good sounding board. Do I need to go over anything else? Has anybody put anything in the chat that I need to recap or go over? I
Can you
hear.
repeat the heredity ones?
Yes, thank you. All right, so heredity. Oops, I flipped the page. Okay, so 25% beyond your control. Genes you receive from your parents determine your body structure and other physical traits. If someone in your family has had cancer, you are at increased risk of developing cancer too. These things cannot be changed, but you can be aware of your risk factors and react accordingly. So they're beyond your control. You receive your genetic makeup from your parents. You are not destined to, be genetically disposed 100%. You could, do something to alter that course, maybe, hopefully. Okay, anybody else?
Miss Upcut, Robert put something in the chat.
Okay, thank you. I'll take a peek. Do. Oh, good. That's great. Okay. Robert. All right, so Robert, I don't know if you were able to catch up or not, but go into Google Classroom and get your guided notes. And we just finished up talking about heredity, so we're about ready to talk about health promoting choices. So if you could start there, that would be great. And then Tristan, did I answer everything or do I need to go over something? Okay, so Kendall, are you talking about the unhealthy lifestyle choices? Okay. Let me know if you figure out what you mean, and then I can maybe try to help. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go back to the Google Slides, and Abby's going to monitor the chat for me. Okay. All right. So I'm assuming I haven't heard anybody gripe, so I'm assuming we can move on. Okay. All right. I believe this is in your notes. So we're going to talk about health promoting choices now. So studies show that you have a lot of control over the factors that influence your health. So we're going to talk about all those things in which you have control over and how they influence your health. Okay. So that's what all those little bullets are for, where I left some words in, took some words out, left a bullet blank you need to add in. So hopefully that'll be pretty easy for you to follow along with. So here we go. Okay, so one way you can promote good health is to choose healthful lifestyles. Okay, so one would be diet. The foods and the beverages that you guys choose to consume. So the earlier you can make a change to something that's more healthy is gonna, prolong your life and, lessen your risk factors. So just to talk in general, the foods that typically are eaten always seem to miss the food groups of fruits and vegetables. So that one, if you eat fruits and vegetables every day, that's great. That's really helpful because that's a lot of vitamins and minerals that don't always come from meats and grains and milk. And so that's why you need to eat a wide variety of foods because you get different nutrients from the different foods that you eat. You can't just eat an apple every single day of your life and hope that you get all the needed nutrients because you are only going to get what the apple provides. And all this other great stuff is not going to be being consumed, and that can be a problem. So you want to eat as healthy as you can. Try to stay away from those things that are considered not real healthy, like, your high fat foods, cholesterol. It comes from any animal product that you would consume. If you buy leaner cuts and things like that, you can, the cholesterol isn't quite as bad, but cholesterol only comes from animals. So if you eat a salad or some type of vegetable, there's no cholesterol in that stuff whatsoever. beverages that you consume, like some of you drink your calories like every day. So, you're getting tons of extra calories your body doesn't need from just the things that you choose to drink. Just a little plug on PAP. PAP is something that, is a lot of people enjoy. But if you look at the research and all the things that are in PAP, I think it would be in your best interest to do a little research on that just for yourself. I didn't make a big change on that until I was probably in my late 30s. And so, I've had all this throughout my life of drinking PAP. But now that I know, my drink of choice is water. So, just be thinking about that. You can make a change and you wouldn't have to wait 30 years like I did. But again, these are all things and choices that you have to make for yourself. I can't tell you what to do. I can't make a choice for you. So you're just going to have to, figure it out for yourself. And hopefully the choices you make are the ones that are going to keep you around for a while. Okay, provide the body with fuel throughout the day. So just, eating breakfast, lunch, dinner is fuel. If you don't put gas in a car, it doesn't go anywhere, just like your body. So get up in the morning. If you can't stomach a lot for breakfast, maybe just a glass of juice or maybe a piece of toast, something that's kind of mild that's not going to upset your stomach, but give you that fuel that you need to get through the morning and then be able to then eat lunch and go on the rest of your day. So fueling your body is really important, and supplying that with those needed nutrients that you get from a wide variety of foods that you eat are going to help support your health and growth and development. So when you deprive your body of really important nutrients, you're depriving your body's systems that depend on those types of foods to kind of get going and to be able to process and contribute to all the other body systems that, kind of spin off each other, Sleep is really important, 8 to 9 hours each night. It's just like your Chromebooks. If you don't charge them, what happens to them? They're dead. Not that a person's dead, but, you just don't have the energy to sustain throughout your day because you haven't recharged yourself. And recharging is really important. And I'm not talking about you're sick or that you have a bad night or whatever. I'm talking about every other night besides those ones that crop up every once in a while. We all have them, and, we just have to do our best to get through them. But I'm talking about individual people that do not get the rest that their bodies need on a daily basis. And especially at this age, you guys are still growing and developing. It's crucial that you get the sleep that your body needs to grow and develop. So get your 8 hours. Maintain a healthy weight. So most doctors will have a height and weight chart. So you'll go in there and you'll be weighed, and then they'll look at how tall you are, and if you're male or female, and there's a little scale that they'll look at to see if you are in the percentile that you're supposed to be in. And, sometimes they might be concerned about your weight. Sometimes they might not be, or that they know you're still growing and developing. So they might just, talk to you about your eating habits or things like that. But as you age, all of these things are becoming more and more important because they're habits that you have developed, and we want them to be good habits so that they're not going to lead to our leading causes of death, if you will. Okay. Stay active for 60 minutes. So you guys should all be active each and every day. 60 minutes is the max. That would be the best. But if you can just get in there, 20 to 30 minutes of vigorous to moderate activity, that's going to be better than nothing. As you age, 3 to 4 times a week is good at 20 to 30 minutes of moderate to vigorous. But at this age where you guys are right now, you should be active pretty much every day. Avoid drinking alcoholic beverages. There are people that do have sensitivities to that could lead to alcoholism, which then could lead to liver failure, cirrhosis. You just have to know your sensitivities to it and, try to stay away from it the best you can. Drinking in moderation, there's no problem with that as long as you're 21 and above. Do not use street drugs. So those are drugs that you buy on the street that you don't always know what they're laced with or what exactly they're mixed with, which could be, a life sentence if, it were to kill you because it was laced with something that you didn't know about. Also, for doctors' prescriptions, make sure that you follow the instructions and use them as they are prescribed. We don't ever give a prescription medication to, our friend or our grandma gives us her prescription or whatever, because those are specific to our bodies. So that I'm a female, I weigh this much, my body chemistry is the way it is. And so it's prescribed to a certain person. So if you give medication to somebody else, you are in violation of what the prescription is asking you to do. And then although these behaviors may sound very simple, many people fail to follow them. So if you take your good health for granted, you won't notice the slow toll such as habits take on your health. So failure to realize how addictive some behaviors can be your demise. And, life expectancy, if you ever look it up, I had it here somewhere. Maybe it's on something I have, but women tend to live longer than men, probably because we don't take on as strenuous of jobs in a lot of cases, not in all, of course. But we typically, our life expectancies are close. Women are living into their 70s, a little bit more than men are. So if we looked at the whole United States and when people are dying, they're living into their 70s, which is good. Every year they'll, either add or detract from that. But usually the more that we learn about health and how to keep ourselves healthier, the more longer our life expectancy becomes, because we just are more educated and we know how to keep ourselves healthy. So, okay, so now we're going to move on to resisting negative peer pressure.
Miss Epka,
Yes.
can you go back to the other slide for a second, please?
This one? Yep. And then just let me know when you are ready to go on to the next one.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay. Anybody else want me to hold? All right. So then let's talk about resisting negative peer pressure. So peer pressure in itself is the influence that people in your age, that's where peer comes in, and your social group have on your behavior. So the desire to be accepted leads to many teens to try activities their peers encourage. So it can be a good peer pressure if your friends are inviting you to be involved in a sport. I can't really see too much negativity there. They want you to be part of a group. They want you to be physically active. They want you to come and have fun with them. However, peer pressure is negative when it encourages people to pursue activities that can endanger their health. And teens might urge their friends to vape or drink alcohol or drive recklessly. And that's negative peer pressure. It plays a role in making accidents and suicide the leading cause of death among your age group. So you need to believe in your ability to evaluate the effect a choice will have on your health. Remember, we talked about that, consequences and rewards. You need to also need to be strong enough to say no to what you consider to be a poor choice, and be aware that people who have trouble resisting negative peer pressure may admire you for doing so. So there are people that look up to you, and if you say no, then they might say no too, just because they look up to you. I always think of, younger siblings or the middle schoolers looking up here at the high schoolers, and what an influence and an impact that you have on them. And it can be either something positive or something negative. And, that's how much power you have. Even though it may not seem like you have power, you do. And these kids, I can remember being in middle school, elementary, and I always looked up to the high schoolers. I was always like, oh, I wish I was them, or I wish I could be like them. And then when you get there, you're like, you don't feel like you have that much pull, but you got to think back to when you were at that age and how much you wish, you could be like them. So be influencing in a positive way. All right. I think, okay. So I'm going to move on if we're good to go. Okay. So some other things that are health promoting choices, 2 things: improving your environment and choosing quality healthcare. So when we talk about improving your environment, that's the place where you live, you call home, your community. So do things in that community that are going to help that environment. So if you can carpool, less emissions in the air, use proper cleaning products so that, you're not filtering poisons and toxins throughout our environment. Handle food carefully. So again, we're not, taking something to someone's house and getting everybody sick. Become a government official, somebody in our community that makes laws or passes laws or keeps our environment clean, can really emphasize that. So that's the piece on improving your environment. And then choosing quality healthcare, just go someplace that's reputable, talk to people that have a doctor that they really like and find out why they like them. Go on the website at a hospital and look at their qualifications and their resume as far as like what they have to offer, how much background they have in that area, their successes and things like that is usually what you would need to go and just double check. So pick wisely. And you as a consumer need to make sure that, that they're making yearly visits for you, that you're able to speak to them openly and honestly about symptoms that you're having, and that they're willing to answer any and all questions that you have. And also look at you as a whole, like holistic, that you're not just the physical piece, that you're also a mental and a social being, and that they are also checking in with you on those areas of your health. So that's choosing quality healthcare is really important. And then when you get that one done, if you could let me know, and then I can go on to the next one. And then Ab, I'm going to use you as my thermometer, so let me know when you're ready.
I just took a picture of it. I'll do it in a little bit. You can move on.
Okay. Okie dokie. Okay, so you do have to know these terms on your test. 100% they're going to be on there. So the first one is nutrition, and that's the sum of the processes by which a person takes in and uses food substance. So for me, if I was writing this, I'd say something like, it's the process by which a person takes in and uses food. That's what I'd say. And then nutrients are the basic components of food that nourish the body. And so there's 6 of them. There's protein, fat, carbs, fat, protein, carbs, vitamins, minerals, water. Okay. So when you take nutrition 2, which will be after Christmas, we're going to focus on these 6 nutrients. Okay. Fat, protein, carbs are considered macronutrients, and water, vitamins, and minerals are considered micronutrients. Okay. So part 2 of nutrition is really focusing on that and how they affect our body. And then our demos all have to do with that type of food, the carbs, if they're simple or complex sugars, different things like that when we talk about those specific nutrients. So your body needs 45 nutrients. So they're very important. Epidemiology. So we're going to do a case study coming up tomorrow. But these are just some experiments that people have done. One of an epidemiology study was eating meat and those who don't. So, all aspects of, how that affects the body, their life longevity, all of those things can play a part in the study. High fiber diets versus low fiber. They might compare diets and lifestyle patterns with different cultures. So these are all different types of studies that can be had. That's just a few. What have researchers learned from all their nutritional studies? couple things. Number one, that they've learned that eating specific foods cannot cause or prevent certain diseases. However, they have found that following certain patterns tends to increase or decrease a person's chance of illness. So for instance, studies have shown that eating sugar doesn't cause diabetes, which a lot of people think it does. Nevertheless, eating a diet high in the simple sugars can increase a person's risk of becoming overweight, and this in turn can increase his or her risk of becoming diabetic. So that's just an example of the studies that take place. And then just a little plug on the scientific method, because all epidemiology has to go through the scientific method, just like probably you had to do when you do science experiments and different things that you might do in your science classes. So we're just going to do a small little plug on scientific method. And then we're on our homeward spiral here to getting done with this. So I just need to know if we're ready to move on. So you can indicate that to me by giving me a hand blurb. Who's going to give me the blurb? There it is. Okay. Okay. So got it. So using the scientific method to study nutrition and wellness, there's 3 key processing ways to do research. And these are just the 3 basic ones. So you make an observation, you state a hypothesis, and then you revise the experiment so that you're testing and verifying the results. On your test, you also have to know what the word theory means. And a theory is a principle that tries to explain something that happens in nature. And it's not, although it is based on evidence, a theory is not a fact, and it still requires further testing. So it's a principle that tries to explain something that happened in nature. Although it is based on evidence, a theory is not a fact. It still requires further testing. So it's like you make you're theorizing. You have a theory of what could have caused this. Okay, do you guys have your 3 components down? Make observations, state hypotheses, and revise experiments. Dylan, you got that? Okay. So here's a scientific method picture where it goes through all the aspects of it. So you got your purpose, your research, your hypotheses, experiment, analysis, and conclusion. So when you are looking at scientific data and you're trying to weigh it of what is truth and what is not truth, there are some things that you need to be aware of. One is to identify the audience to which the report is directed. So, is it trying to change a behavior? Is it, is it trying to get a rise out of people? And you gotta kind of have to do your own research. Like, for example, if this was, did it like do its research with like 50 people over a week's time, or did it do its research with like 8,000 people over 3 years? So you always want to take it at face value, of course, as a consumer, because you want to believe that everybody's telling you the truth, but that's not always the case. And so to really know and be able to back up whether something is true or false is to do your own research. So, look at the facts and, dive into the research yourself, because it could be Maybe it's not even from a doctor, maybe it's more of an opinion piece, but it's coming across as fact. Maybe it didn't come from a reputable site. So it's just something that you got to be cautious of, because people are always going to tell you something and it may not be on the up and up, and you want to be a knowledgeable consumer so that you can make good choices. So just make sure you evaluate research reports carefully, because they're not always legitimate. Okay, so I'm assuming you got that down, because I want to say that I wrote it, but maybe not. Oh no, I did not write that. Okay, that's what I thought. All right, so this is our last slide here. So studies show that many people in the United States are not following the most healthful eating and physical activity patterns. Studies also show nutritional problems tend to increase as income levels decrease. So a number of health fitness problems are affecting the nation's state of wellness, and they are: about 1/3 of the people in the United States eat an inadequate diet. I think I just left some words out. So about 1/3. Oh, it's on there. Okay. Yes. Okay. 1 out of 3 adults is overweight, and 1 out of 4 is more than 20% overweight. And I want to say that's a question on your test. So you may want to highlight that or do something, because I almost think that's a question. 1 out of 3 adults is overweight, and 1 out of 4 is more than 20% overweight. Popular lifestyles include less and less physical activity. So you have a lot of tech jobs where they're going to be like me, stuck on this computer for 5 hours. Important nutrients are missing from the diet of some groups of people, such as teens and older adults. So they're just not getting all the nutrients their body needs to grow and develop or to heal, and then fat, cholesterol, and sodium and sugar intakes are higher than recommended. And, that just goes with the types of food that, fast food restaurants are selling. They, when they take fat out, they add sodium. Sugar is in just about everything that we eat. I mean, for God's sakes, it's in ketchup. So these problems arise for several reasons. Some people do not have enough money to acquire adequate nutrition, which is sad. Others lack the information and the skills needed to select a nutritious diet. Some people may not know that they need to make changes. They're just unaware that they're making poor choices. And still others simply choose to ignore current nutrition recommendations. One reason some people give for disregarding nutrition recommendation is that some nutrient messages are unclear or they contradict each other. So findings from one study seem to dispute the things from another. So what is a health-conscious person supposed to believe as he or she tries to make wise lifestyle choices? So education is always the key to sorting out conflicting messages and being able to educate yourself on what the actual message should be and what's truthful and what's not. So that leads me into your assignment. So if you are in Google Classroom, which you are, there's something called Words and Wellness, and that is due today because I want to be able to go over it tomorrow with you guys. So basically there's 2 assignments, but it's pick one. So one is a PDF and it's a crossword puzzle. And if you can get it to work with Kami, then go ahead and do the crossword puzzle. If you can't, or you choose not to, there's a Word document that basically has the same questions. It just doesn't have you fill out the crossword puzzle. But the reason I left it on there too is, sometimes you can count the number of boxes to figure out what the word is if you're not sure. So it's one or the other. You don't have to do both. You can do the crossword puzzle or you can do the Word document. Whichever you find easiest for you is fine with me. And then get it to me before 11:59 tonight. Does anyone still need this slide I'm on? Okay.
Do you want us to turn our notes in?
Yes. Yep. And you should still be able to access them to do that assignment, the words and wellness. So if I click on it, you'll see that there's 2 documents. Just pick one to do. They're the same thing, only one's with a crossword puzzle, one's without. Okay. And if you were here in school, I would have given you the crossword puzzle, but you're not. So we have to improvise a little bit. Is there anything that I've said that you need me to clarify or go over with you? Well, we have 5 minutes, so see how much you can bust out on that words and wellness. Because like I said, every day that we've done the notes, I've gone over like at least 6 or 7 of the answers on there. And that leaves the other half to the other pieces of the notes that we did today that you should be able to figure out. Everything's in your notes. You just have to go back and look at it. And I'm going to take a quick attendance again really quick here. Yep, I think everybody's here that started here.
Miss Ebka,
Yeah.
can you go back to the slide that's about like the top 10 killers?
Which one is that?
It was like the unhealthy lifestyle, the poor.
Oh, yeah. Is it this one that's up? Oh, am I still projecting?
Yeah, you are, but not that one.
Okay. Is it this one?
No. Yeah, that.
This one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh my God. Are you guys sick of sitting in front of your computer for hours? Oh,
No, I just hate allergies.
it's killing me. Who has allergies?
Me. Trinity.
Trinity has allergies?
Yes.
To like what?
Just like,
The environment?
no, the tree that's sitting outside.
Oh, the tree, yeah. Not like pets or animals or
No.
dander or that kind of thing. Okay. Oh, and my back's killing me. Oh my God. I like need a massager in my chair, I think. That would be nice. If you get stuck on one of those, let me know. On those words and wellness, I can help you out. But really, everything that we talked about, no joke, is on there. Anyone stuck on anyone that I need to assist? Okay. Abs, you get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Is there anybody here that was out of school when I did the first part of the notes? Ashlyn, if you're good to go, yeah. Just make sure you get those words and wellness done.
Okay, just to make this clear, we only have to do one.
One what? No.
Or do we have to do both?
We're gonna do 1 through 15.
Yeah, but like, do we have to do the crossword puzzle too?
The what?
The crossword puzzle.
Oh no, one or the other. Yeah, one or
Okay.
the other. Yeah. I was confused. All right, so Kyla, are you saying me as in you need the notes? Is she still here? Does she?
She said yeah.
Okay.
Can we're good to go though for all
Yeah,
set or no?
You're good. Yeah. Just make
Thank
sure you
you.
get that done tonight.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. All right. So Kyla, I'm gonna send those to you, okay? And then you'll have those to write in. All right, cool. Anybody else? Otherwise, you can vacate the premises. Unless you want to have a long, drawn out conversation with me. I'm on my planning hour. Aiden, I did not get you as being here. When did you show up? At 1? Well, Aiden, my goodness. Why so late? Robert, do you want to talk to me now? I can kick these people out. The hour starts at 12:25. Yeah, O is correct. Yeah, dang is right. All right, Aiden and Isaiah, I'm going to kick you out so Robert can chat with me. All right. Yes, you were very tardy, young man. All right, Isaiah, I'll see you later. All right, what's up, Robert?
Well, I'm just confused about everything right now. The internet went out. The computer is stuttering. It's kind of going in and out when you talk.
That's got to be fun.
That's why I said talk when we go back Monday.
Do you have a relative named Diesel Curtis?
No.
Oh, okay. So do you need me to send you the notes? Is that what you're basically telling me?
Yes.
Okay. I will do that. I got to send them to Kyla too, so I'll send them to you as well.
All right. Thank
All
you.
right. You're welcome. See you later.
See ya.
Bye.